Jayden's story isn't the kind you find in fairy tales. It's raw. It's real. It's the type of story that only gets told when you've been through the mud and come out with more scars than you'd ever want to count. Born and raised in the heart of the struggle, Jayden learned early that survival wasn't guaranteed. It had to be earned. Growing up in the projects, the world wasn't kind. The streets were a battlefield, and Jayden was just another soldier trying to make it through. With no father around, his mama, Miss Teresa, was the one who held the family together. She wasn't a perfect woman. She had her flaws, her own battles to fight, but one thing was certain: she loved Jayden more than anything. She had no fancy degrees or designer bags to her name, just a fierce spirit and an unshakable belief in her son. She would sit him down after every fight, after every bad report card, and remind him of his worth. "Jayden," she'd say, "I ain't raising no coward. You a soldier. You hear me?" Her words were more than just comforting. They were a call to arms. They were the foundation that kept him going, even when the world seemed stacked against him. But Jayden wasn't always sure. He was a young man, hungry and angry, surrounded by people who seemed to have it all figured out. Rico and the other guys on the block had money, respect, and fast cars. They made the life Jayden dreamed of look so easy. It wasn't long before Jayden found himself at a crossroads. The pressure of living in poverty, the need to prove himself, and the weight of watching his friends get ahead in the game led him to make a choice. He got in the car with Rico, thinking that one drop, one quick hustle, would change everything. But the streets don't care about your dreams. The police lights flickered, and everything went south. The next thing Jayden knew, he was face down on the cold pavement, handcuffed, and thrown in the back of a squad car. He wasn't some big-time criminal, just a young man who'd made a bad decision. The reality hit hard. Behind bars, Jayden felt lost, like he was fading into the background, just another statistic. But that's when his mama showed up again, not physically, but in a way that hit harder than any prison sentence. She sent him a letter. It wasn't full of big words or legal jargon. It wasn't a plea for him to be freed. Instead, it was a letter of belief. "Jayden," she wrote, "you ain't broken. You just bent. And I ain't raisin' no quitter. You made a mistake, but you still my soldier." Her words were simple, but they cracked through the walls Jayden had built around himself. It reminded him who he was, not who he had been in that moment of weakness. When Jayden got out, he didn't go back to the streets. He could have. He could have gone right back to hustling, to the life that seemed to offer the easiest way out. But his mama's words stuck with him. He was done with the fast life and the consequences that came with it. He found his purpose. He found a way to stand taller than the streets ever would. He started talking to the younger kids around the way, the ones who were looking up to him and thinking the same things he used to think. He told them the truth. The fast life? It's a trap. I was you. Hungry, angry, lost. But you don't gotta be. You don't gotta be another statistic. I know you feel like you ain't got no choice, but you do. Choose better. Jayden's story wasn't over. It was just beginning. He kept fighting, kept pushing, and most importantly, he kept living for the legacy his mama had instilled in him. She didn't just raise him to survive. She raised him to be a soldier. And soldiers don't fold under pressure. They rise. Today, Jayden might not have stacks of cash or a flashy car, but he has something more valuable, a purpose. He's not just another kid from the block. He's a man with a mission to show the younger generation that they can break free from the cycle of the streets, just like he did. And every time he feels the weight of the world on his shoulders, he remembers his mama's words, "You stronger than your past. I ain't raised no coward. I raised a king." Jayden's not perfect. He still fights the demons from his past. But now, he's fighting for something bigger than himself. And no matter what, he knows one thing for sure: his mama didn't just raise a boy. She raised a soldier.